I started recording this episode late. I'm at school. I recorded another one this morning, but it's not good enough to release, so I'm not going to. Well, today I have to go to an office to see about the Student of the Month award. I say award, I don't know what it is. I'll tell you about it when I find out. See ya. I found out what it is, and I'm excited. Sorry about the background noise, but the Student of the Month award, you get a gift card either to Google Play or to Chick-fil-A. I'm surprised. Sorry about that. Some idiots were being as loud as possible. So you can choose between Google Play or Chick-fil-A for a gift card, and also you get a certificate that is signed by the principal. That is all. I will speak to you after school. Well, I'm late for this as well. It's after school, but I had to stay after school late for a business meeting. It's not too important. But what is important is I know for certain that it is a certificate signed by the principal. I've got it. I'll possibly use it as the cover picture for this episode. I think you'll know by now, if you're watching this, if this far into it, whether I used it or not. It won't be two separate episodes like yesterday. It's just going to be one continuous episode, because the first part would be so short that it wouldn't be worth making it two episodes. Oh well. I'm also not yet in my car. I don't know. I felt like I might run out of stuff to say when I get out to the car. I'm walking up to it though. And might have helped if I turned on voice-activated system a second ago, but now it's on. And the voice-activated system really comes in handy. It means I don't need to continuously talk for 30 minutes. And yet it somewhat has a decent quality to it. These podcasts actually give me something to look forward to during the school day. They keep me from becoming bored when I'm driving home. Yeah. Because it's about a 15-minute drive on a good day and a 30-minute drive on a bad day. Might help if I talk into the microphone and not into the side. There. Funny, like I guessed, people are staring at me like I'm weird. I'll be back in a second.
Okie dokie, I am back. I got the fan on too much. Sorry, I had to speak to someone a second ago. I found out something cool today.
Another reason to not really like the car companies and the oil industry. Oh, I'm sorry for the bumping around there. I had to rewind in order to re-record a certain part. I accidentally said something that I'm not going to repeat because my glasses fell off. And, I can't see enough to drive without my glasses, so that's not good. That's never a good thing. Well, I can, but legally I can't. Well, legally I can, but they still put on my license that I need it. I don't know why. I can make this turn. What was I saying I found out? Oh, yeah. That, you know how it seems, people always talk about how cars with good gas mileage are like, 40 miles to the gallon. That's nowhere near what they could be. Someone back in the 1950s, remember this is the 1950s, made an engine that could run at 300 miles to the gallon. 300 miles to the gallon back in the 1950s. Here's the reason why we don't have cars like this nowadays. You see, the car companies, there are only like 3 major ones in America, and a few of them worldwide. What it is that they are, as the industry says, are in bed with OPEC, the oil people. And, so what it is that every time someone makes an engine, like the one that gets 300 miles to the gallon, they buy out the idea. They buy the rights to use it from them, and then they don't use it. The reason for this is that they want to stay in good, company with the oil people. They want to keep the relation good with them. And so they help them out by keeping oil worth a good bit of money. And this person behind me is going to hate me because I didn't go for it, but I couldn't speed up in time in order to make the turn, so they're going to have to deal with it. But yeah, we could have cars that have around 300 miles to the gallon of gas, but we don't, because oil companies want the oil to stay worth money, and the car companies are going to let them do that. Oh well. And I would say maybe, go out and start a car company, but people who have tried that before, like DeLorean and Saturn and stuff like that, they always either get bought out by one of the three major companies, GMC, Ford, and all those people, like the three major companies. I don't remember their names. Here's what they always do. They always buy them out, and if the person refuses to let them buy the company from them, then they'll just, the three will come together, put the resources together, and put the person out of business. They'll lower their cost. These three car companies can afford to lower their prices. They're only high because they're the only three in the market at the current, moment, other than like Tesla right now. So they can, raise their prices however they want. And what'll happen is they'll lower the price whenever a new one like DeLorean comes on, if they refuse to let one of the three buy them out. And by doing this, they keep, control over the market. It's wrong, but, it's not really something that, we can do much about. Oh, well. Unless one of you is brave enough and smart enough to somehow find a way. But the reason, they'll lower the prices is because if you're a car company that's just starting out, then you can't really afford to lower prices, to the level that they can. And they know this, and they'll take advantage of this. So therein lies the problem. Today's going to be probably a bit more of an insightful episode, just because, I had history today, and we learned a good bit about history science. Did I just say history science? Why are my windshield wipers not on and my headlights not on? I don't know. It's raining right now, so I need my windshield wipers on. It's not dark enough for the automatic light sensor to turn my headlights on, so I gotta do that manually as well. Oh well. My tape player, the VAS, is now once again working in my car. Now that's a good thing. It just takes it a second or two to stop recording is all. Yeah, it turns out there was like a flood on I-40 this morning where a bunch of dirt fell off of a hill onto it and they had to close off part of a lane, and that slowed down traffic tremendously this morning. Like you wouldn't believe it just from the rain last night. Oh well. I was almost late to school this morning because I had to get gasoline. And I got to school at 8:40, and I'm out in the parking lot at 8:40, and my class is the other side of the school, and I need to be in class, sitting down at 8:55. I got there, to my seat at 8:53, so I did okay. Oh, whoa, this is, okay, I'm passing this person. I'm getting past them. Good. They were trying to move into my lane from an exit ramp, and I couldn't slow down in time. But they almost turned into me anyways, so I ended up just having to gun it and hope for the best. It worked. And I gotta make a confession about modern retro gaming. I know I said they sponsored me, but here's the reason I said they sponsored me. It's because it's my own company. So, sponsoring my company sponsoring myself, that's not really a thing. So, I guess every episode technically is brought to you by Modern Retro Gaming because it's my company. So, I just had to get that off my chest and tell you that I know I made it sound like it was another company outside of here, but it's my own company, so that's why I'm advertising for it. Trying to get the word out about my company. And this time, I really am going to put a link to their website in today's episode. I think I said I was going to an episode or two ago, but just forgot to do so. So today, I'll put a link to the website, the Facebook page, and the YouTube page. I've only put one episode, or one video up on the YouTube page so far. I'm going to have to put more of them up. I'm going to put like a trailer up and stuff like that on there. And it will have more than just audio, because like I said recently, I've got a new video camera. Or well, my parents have started letting me use their old one. They have a camera they use to take videos now, but I don't use it because it's an expensive brand new camera. I use their old one. It's good enough quality. It's actually very good quality, and it has a lot of cool features. Just as much as a digital camera, basically. And it's an analog one, which is what I like. Just like this, tape recorder, it's analog, it's not digital. I put it on YouTube by putting it up to my computer and just using the built-in sound recorder on it, and then hitting play and record at the same time. Record on my computer and play on the tape recorder. Oh, good, a policeman went by me and I gotta move over. Because there's someone pulled over up here, and blue car's gonna try and... Yes, finally, people realize you should move over if there's a policeman on the side of the road. And then you got moron in the brown car all the way back 2 or 3 cars behind me that... Oh, that's why they didn't, is because they had to get off that exit. Okay, then, so never mind, they're not a moron. I just didn't know enough information at the time I said that. If I get into a wreck today, just know it was not because of this podcast. I only say that because traffic was at a complete stop. I would have rear-ended this guy had I been doing what I did the time when I had a wreck, which was not paying attention. I'm going to admit, and sorry Mom and Dad if you are watching this, but yes, I admit I wasn't paying enough attention. Yes, I did lie, I wasn't paying enough attention. But you figured it out anyway, so, oh well. But, yeah. And I'm not going to try and justify it either. I just wasn't paying enough attention, and it was my fault. Because I rear-ended the guy in front of me. Had I been paying enough attention and been far enough behind him, and not trying to do too many complex things, like being too close to the guy in front of me while moving over to the next lane, in order to let people who are getting off the exit ramp back onto the road, onto it, then I would have not been in the wreck. Besides, people in the exit ramp, they need to stop if they can't move over anyways. And I sure hope people don't think that that hand gesture was a gun. I just say because I did something weird with my hand without meaning to. And then I had someone stare at me as soon as I did it, so I hope it's not like they think I have a gun or something. Because I don't. I do not own a gun. I own a pocket knife, but, that's at home. Oh, well, it's a pocket knife. I don't use it as a weapon at all whatsoever. I use it, to do stuff like open boxes and open letters and that sort of thing. I mean, who doesn't use a pocket knife for that sort of thing? Unless you just happen to not own one. Okay, so there was a crash on US 421 North, and we've got the left lane closed. Good, it's the speeding lane, hooray. I'm in the right lane, so I'm good. It's also at exit 240, and I'm currently at exit 2B, so I'm good. Why is that tape recorder still going? Seems like at certain speeds I'm just fast enough to have a lot of wind noise, but like at other speeds I'm not. I don't know. Come on, tape recorder, stop recording already, because I haven't been talking. I'm trying to think of what to say next. I figured it out. It's actually not the wind, but the rough road that I'm driving on, where the tires are making noise. And I just remembered, I think I have a low tire. Tire pressure is normal is what the gauge says, but I don't know. I'm gonna ask my dad to check it when I get home, so I'll be good. Also, don't forget Milton's Milton Factory. for sponsoring this video. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Milton's Milton Factory is a reference to an episode of Game Grumps. I forget which one it was, but they were, just Google or YouTube search Game Grumps Milton. It's actually quite funny. Hey, I just realized I'm beginning to outrun the rain. That's good. I can turn the headlights off now. And come on, cars behind me. You do know the speed limit, right? It's 65. I know I'm doing 60, but it's because we're still on the exit ramp. And now the speed limit's changed good, so now I'm up to 65. But come on, people, don't drive too close to someone. I personally learned the hard way not to drive that close to someone. And I was not even that close. I was farther back. I was about one car distance away, but as I've said before, and I repeat, cannot put enough emphasis on this. Remember, the 10-mile-an-hour rule. Put one car distance between, the length of your car that you are currently driving, one of those between you and the car in front of you for every 10 miles an hour that you drive. Again, remember, it's one length of one of your car length, because every car is a different weight, and you can get a good estimate of its weight, based on how its length, So one of your car lengths between you and the car in front of you for every 10 mile an hour, I cannot put enough emphasis on that. It is one of the most basic rules of driving, but yet it will save your life. It's like wearing a seatbelt. It is that important. Do it, follow it just as much as you do the rule of constant. Follow it as religiously as you do breathing. Okay? Look at it as important as breathing and wearing your seatbelt. Please, do not learn this lesson the way I learned it. I rear-ended someone. I did a lot of damage to my car. It was, okay, I will tell you the price. And this was at a cheap auto body repair shop, guy. Had we gone somewhere else, it would have been a lot more money, So, $2,100. I learned a hard lesson by getting my parents to pay $2,100, all because of a split second where I wasn't paying attention, and because of the fact that I was too close to someone. Don't make that mistake. I learned it the hard way. I don't want you to do that same thing, okay? Because, I'll tell you, the radiator was messed up, the frame of my car was bent, the hood was bent, and it's still not exactly the right shape. It's good enough, but there's a bigger gap on the left side than the right side between the hood and the car because it was bent and then bent back into shape. So please do not make the same mistake I made. Please just take the lesson that I'm giving you and don't learn it the hard way. Just learn it from what I'm telling you, okay? And always pay attention to the road and to everyone around you. Again, I made that mistake, and I learned it the hard way, that you have to pay attention to everyone else. Please do not learn it the way I learned it. Just take it from me. Pay attention to everyone around you. And I know, if you're a teenager, you'll do what I did. You'll think, I get it, I know, I'm fine. There's no need for me to listen to this. I got it. What do you think I am, an idiot? I did the same thing. I thought that. But then, because I was like that, because I was arrogant like that, I made the mistake. Do not be arrogant. Do not think you're invincible. Teenagers make this mistake all the time, that because they are young, they think they are invincible. You are not. You could die in a split second. This quickly. You could die that quickly when you're driving if you are not paying attention. I'm doing this podcast while I'm driving, yes, but you see the way I do it is I just hit record on it, on my tape player, and then I don't look at it ever again until I get home. And I don't touch it ever again. Well, normally I don't touch it. And even when I do, I don't look at it, want to do it. I just have the button layout memorized. So, yes, don't lose focus to the road. I can talk and focus at the same time. I've gotten it really good where I can talk and focus at the same time. In fact, the talking actually helps me to focus on driving, surprisingly enough. For the same reason, like, music helps other people focus. I'm just surprised. I can focus more on the driving, and I can even read. Like, that's his Tanglewood. I can read while I'm talking. I'm surprised. I can read while I listen to other people talk. Sometimes, not all the time. I couldn't read the Constitution and fully understand it while other people are talking, but I can read enough to drive, So I'm good. But please, just focus when you're driving. Also, I'm basically almost at home, on the road like right before it, so I guess this is near the end of the episode. Something I wonder, though, is why do buses drive so slowly? I know that some, school districts modify the buses to keep them from going 55. Oh, wait, I think I know why. It's because they don't have seat belts. The only reason for that, and I mean the only reason for that, is money. In fact, it would be safer to put the seat belts. Think about it. There's a thick metal bar inside of all of those seats with only a thin layer of padding on the outside of it. If you hit it, it will hurt and do some damage. And oh, come on. Why is the green light already red? I saw it go from green to red in just the span of a minute or two. Oh, well. What was I talking about? I mean, in less than a minute, but... Yeah, like, if you wear glasses like me and you hit that bar, the glass might break and get into your eyes and do damage. That was always my fear. And so, yeah, if they were to put seatbelts on buses, it would keep the kids safe. I mean, the bus driver himself has a seatbelt, And I know you're thinking that it would be difficult because, where are they going to put the top of the seatbelt at? Well, my car has a special sort of seatbelt in it. I'll put a picture of it at this part of it to show you an example of how they might put the seatbelt in it. So yeah, but it is possible to put the seatbelt in the school buses. The only reason they don't is because they would have to pay money to do it, and the government hates spending money on stuff that it actually needs. On the important stuff like, education. Oh, okay, good. My phone alarm is going off, and I do not want you to hear this because it is a copyrighted thing, and it is just a speech by Walter White from the show Breaking Bad. I don't want you to hear it because I'm afraid they will do a copyright strike, so I will have to... But I don't want to quit focusing on driving, so I got it. I'm good. Phone. Shut up, phone. Shut up. We are good. Hey, there's steam coming off the road. Cool. Because of all the rain and now the water's evaporating, I've actually not seen it, this kind of steam like this just rising off the road before. And no, it's not my car because the car is at 191 degrees. But if it does overheat, there will be a cloud of steam coming out of it, though I know that much. Or is it smoke? No, it's steam. It would be black if it was smoke. Well, I'm home. If you listen to this much, thank you for listening to it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.